A big part of my training program comes down to psychology. This is something I've never really talked about in videos. That people talk all the time about confidence, you know, and you see like sports psychologists, you know, they have their little methods of bringing confidence to athletes. And I always kind of shrug my shoulders when I see this, because in truth, the only thing which truly makes a jiu-jitsu player confident is their escape. Why? Because if you truly believe in your heart of hearts, no one can pin you and no one can submit you. You'll take any risk you want. Okay? Humans, by their very nature, are typically loss averse. Okay? Losing something scares us more than the prospect of fighting hard to win something. When someone has gotten into the mounted position, they're afraid of losing it and will take risks to keep it. Risks that we can use to submit them. They get overextended. Okay, they're averse to loss. But in addition to loss aversion, most human beings have fear of risk. Okay, and what are the greatest risks in jiu-jitsu? The biggest risks are very simple: getting pinned and getting submitted. Okay, submitted is the worst, and pinn's not far behind. Usually the two are linked. You normally get pinned and then submitted. So when we go out into a match and you're looking at the other guy and you're thinking like, how's this guy going to beat me? It's going to come down to his ability to pin you and submit you. That's what you're most worried about. But if you believe in your heart of hearts, there's not a human being on the planet that can pin you or submit you. You're going to come out there and fire all of your guns right at them. You're going to take risks that most people wouldn't take. And you see this with Gary and Gordon. They just believe no one can ever get a submission hold on them. And, you know, in the vast majority of cases, they're correct. And as a result, they just come out with guns blazing and take risks that most people shy away from. So yeah, the psychology of building confidence, not by, you know, some kind of crazy visualization or meditation or any other crazy stuff like this, but rather by just hard physical training and escape skills until they just fully believe there's no one alive who's going to pin me or submit me. Then, dude, when they go out onto the stage, it's just... And the idea is most people go through their whole jiu-jitsu lives with a satisficing mindset. And what I want to do in this video is change people's perceptions and make them understand that you can bring in a maximizing mindset on a surprising number of occasions. Am I saying only use the maximizing mindset? Absolutely not. As I said, there's plenty of times when we use the satisficing approach. Why not augment it with this new approach, new philosophy, especially if it costs you nothing more. Okay, and think about this, Danaher. Imagine two athletes fighting each other, okay, and they're very evenly matched, so that when athlete A makes an attack on athlete B and fails, athlete B comes back hard a few minutes later with his own attack, and they attack each other 1-for-1 over the course of a 10-minute match. Okay, they get a certain number of submissions over the course of that match. What if one of those athletes, let's say athlete B, every time he got out of a submission hold, directly attacked the other guy? At the end of the match, he would have twice the number of attacks as the other guy, because he's not only attacking when he's on the attack, but he's attacking when the other guy's on the attack. And what you find is very quickly when you adopt this approach, the number of submissions you attempt per 10-minute period doubles or triples. Instead of looking to go back to a neutral position like guard, our reasoning is very simple. There are a number of factors, some of them are physical and some of them are psychological, as to why you can greatly benefit your game, instead of going back to a neutral position like guard, to go directly to a submission hold. I'm gonna outline this in terms of psychological principles, okay? There's a theory which is often touted in basic psychology called the principle of sunk costs. And you see this a lot in business psychology, where you'll see that there's a broad principle across the spectrum where someone will invest a large amount of, say, money or time or effort into a given project. And if the project runs into trouble and more money or more effort or more time is required, they will be much more likely to put additional amounts of resources into the project, okay? So say, for example, I come to you, Bernardo, and I say, listen, man, I've got this project coming up, we've got a bunch of investors, I'd love it if you put $10,000 into the project. And you're like, okay, I've known John a while, and he seems reasonably honest. He's wrong about that. Let me give him $10,000. And then a month goes by, and I show up in your office. I'm like, listen, Bernardo, project's not going so well. We ran into some problems, and we're going to need another $3,000 to get around this. And you're like, ooh, that's not good. You know, you told me it'd be $10,000 and I'd get a return within 6 months.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But there's this problem. The city came in and we need new permits, and the permits cost money. We've got to hire a lawyer, and we need $3,000. And you're thinking to yourself, oh man, this is not what I wanted. I just wanted to get $10,000 and no more. But if I don't help, you've already put the money in, and if I don't give money, I'm going to lose $10,000. I'll give him the $3,000. So you give me $3,000 more dollars. 6 months later, I come in, I'm like, oh, Bernardo, we're having a court case with the city, and we're going to need another $2,000 to pay the lawyers. And you're like, oh man. But now you've given me $13,000, and if we don't win, you're going to lose $13,000.
Yep.
So you're more likely to give me $2,000. This just goes on and on. So as we get more and more, it's easier to get more and more money out of us.
Yep.
Now, interestingly, Bernardo, exactly the same thing happens in Jiu-Jitsu. But instead of money, it's sweat. Okay? Think about it. If I take someone down and I passed their guard and it was hard, the takedown didn't come easy. It was 30 seconds of brutal hard work. And then, boom, I put them down on the floor, and it took me 3 minutes to pass their guard. It's hard. Now I'm breathing like crazy. There's only a few minutes left in the match. I work my way into the mounted position. And I'm like, okay, I took him down, I passed his guard, I got to the mounted position. If I feel him starting to escape, what do you think I'm going to do? I've sunk a lot of effort into the match so far. You think I'm going to give up that mount easily? No, I'm going to hold on for dear life, man. It's like, that cost me a lot of energy and sweat. I'm not giving that up.
That was a great analogy. I love it.
And so I will tend, because of the principle of sunk cost, I will tend to overcompensate in the case of losing a pin.